taught me how to be a team player. It builds character. You gain respect for people. You have to learn how to work with other people. If you are giving, you need to give back, and that's what I believe. There's a lot of things that being on the field as a team can help your child. It teaches them to get along with everybody, and I think that's the most important thing. It's all about being a part of a team. Family values are important to me, and that's why I teamed up with Schuylkill Valley Sports.
Service Electric Cable TV presents The Big Ticket.
Well, this is indeed the week we have been waiting for quite some time. It is week 9, and more importantly, Liberty Easton.
Undefeated teams going head-to-head, and when it's this late in the season, it's always fun.
Well, it rained on me a little bit out there doing my live shows at 5 and 6, and I thought maybe it would keep people away just a little bit. Not so much.
It didn't just not keep them away from the game, but they couldn't even stay away from our studio tonight.
No, they're here, they're there, they're everywhere. A packed house tonight at BASD Stadium for Easton Liberty Part 1, because I have a funny feeling there is going to be a Part 2 down the line in the playoffs. So let's get to it. Let's get to BASD Stadium. Yes, everybody wearing their colors, the band's ready, good to go. What more can you say about this matchup other than it's about time we got to it, because we've been waiting a while for it. Ovid Goldborn certainly ready. And how about play number 1 of the game? Steve Schiffert taking a play out of Coach Stem's playbook, running the little whoop-de-whoop. Bernard Kuhn to Jared Holley, who throws it to John Suozo. 69 yards later, and we like the number, 69. 7-0 Easton. The same thing happened to them in the district title game a couple years ago, but this time it works in their favor. Then, next drive, Kuhn goes to Holley again. You know what? That's probably a pretty good idea. That one goes 44 yards down to the 1-yard line. You think the Rovers were ready?
They were ready.
And Rover Nation was ready.
Yeah.
Wait till you see those guys in a minute. They're still around. Next play, Ovid Goldborn from a yard out takes it in. You know what? 14-0 Easton, and we're only halfway through the first quarter.
Look at that artwork.
I could try all week and not do that right. 14-0 at the half. Second half, first drive for Liberty. Brendan Van Ackeren, 15-yard run to the 12. Sets up John Mills' 31-yard field goal attempt, but wide left, so 14-0 Easton still the score. Minutes later, Bernard Kuhn rolling out and gets a little help here. Van Ackeren can't pick it off. John Suozo makes the catch. 27 yards later, he gets knocked into the end zone. 80 yards, 4-play drive, and a 21-0 Easton lead. Ball game, basically. Ball game all over. The defense then would take over. Josh Albani sacks Dan Persa. Boy, big game. Ooh. Big game plays by this team tonight. Persa sacked again. Ryan Hartzell recovers the fumble. And then, you know what, Dan Persa, what more can you say to the kid? He played hard. Just didn't have a whole lot of help tonight. He did get something in the fourth. Finds Van Ackeren, beats the blitz. A nice job to beat a very good Easton blitz. 10-yard touchdown, caps a 99-yard drive, but not nearly enough. Too little, too late. Easton gets the huge win tonight. 21-7, your final score. The Rovers victorious over Liberty. And you know what? It was a team effort, and it was a dominating win by the number 1 team. We like to see the number 1 team win.
Flexing their muscles.
Yeah, a dominating win tonight for the Rovers on the road.
It's a good feeling. I knew it was going to be a battle coming into this matchup, but the fans and all that, everybody was hyped up. It was a hell of a good game.
Yeah, I was real nervous about that. I didn't know.
All right. Well, there was a bunch more there.
Yes,
we won't get to that, obviously. Yeah, the
were...
coaches, the players, very excited about the way things went. You know who else is excited about this?
Some of those guys we already saw a little bit of.
They are still wearing red. They're still painted red. Rover Nation is in the studio. They said tonight, when we win, not if, when we win, we want to come up. Can I get a hello from Rover Nation over there on the wide shot?
Troy, how's it going?
They're here, yeah. They are, however, much warmer now than they were before. So, so give me. You guys are now 8-0 after 9 weeks. Give me the Easton chant. Give me something to go home with tonight.
The The link has nothing over these guys.
Oh, they're ready. They're ready for Hershey. I think they could go to the link and stand out. Let's talk to Coach Stim about the game. Coach, we knew going in it was going to be a good football game. It wasn't as good as a lot of people would have liked it to be, but it was an impressive win from Easton, though.
Yes, it was. And, you know, it's a big game, and Easton's been there before. And I know from experience, like maybe your first big one, you don't want to be the reason as a coach to lose the game. So maybe you're thinking a little more conservative. Stevie's been a lot of these, and he said, hey, we're going to open it up, and we're going out to win. And he did it on the first play of the game, and that's what it's all about sometimes. And really, that was the difference. They were pretty equal after those 14 points. So, you know, you got to give Liberty some credit for hanging in there. But, you know, Easton just did a great job. I mean, and they deserved the win. There's no doubt about it.
If these teams meet again down the road, like obviously they may, how much of a mental advantage does this give Easton the next time around?
Well, I don't know if it really gives them a mental advantage, because now, you know, Liberty's saying, listen, we're going to open up too. We're coming at you. And it might be a lot better game. I saw this before with, I think it was Allen and Dieroff back in the 80s or early 90s, where one beat the other. I think Allen actually lost to Dieroff during the regular season, lost the East Penn League Championship, came back in the districts and beat Dieroff. So that's what happens. You know, there's no mental advantage.
All right, more from Bob Stim later on in the show, including your questions for Coach Bob Stim. You can ask Bob Stim a question. Email us sports@wfmz.com, or go to the Big Ticket webpage, and there's a link on there for you to ask a question as well. Now, Easton Liberty, huge football game. Not the only big game tonight. Big rivalry tonight at Parkland.
Emmaus and Parkland, the Cedar Crest Boulevard. We had Lancaster Avenue earlier in the year. Cedar Crest Boulevard battle tonight, and this was a good one. Emmaus trying to keep those district hopes alive, and Mike Brusco drops back, and he's going to get the touchdown pass to Tyler Hirsch early on. And just like that, a 7-0 lead for Emmaus. Still in the first. Emmaus punting. Parkland's Stephen Benavage is going to get the kick. He's going to take it back 67 yards down the sideline, and that'll get you right back in the game in a hurry. That ties things up at 7 apiece. That was the score after 1. On to the second quarter. Greg Hagar is going to give the handoff to Nick Guida, and he's going to bring it all the way down to the 15-yard line for a first down. That leads to another Parkland touchdown. They had the lead 14-7 at halftime in this one, trying to get back on the track, trying to spoil Emmaus' season. Third quarter now. Parkland 14-10, and Hagar is picked off. Tyler Hirsch, great grab, tip drill play, tips it to himself, and then he's back on the run. Looks a little bit like Dion there, loaf of bread style.
Yeah.
He carries it back, a good game. Few plays later, they fake the handoff, fools everyone, even the cameraman. Hirsch takes it into the end zone for the touchdown. Emmaus takes the lead 17-14. We go to the fourth quarter. 4th and inches for Parkland, and you be the judge. Did he get it? The ref says that he does not get it. Emmaus takes over on downs. They are fired up. The play would come back to haunt Parkland. Brusco scrambles, loses it in the end zone, but they recover it for the safety. 17-16 Emmaus at that point. Ensuing drive for Parkland. Ryan Keeper takes the handoff over the goal line. 2-point conversion is good. Trojans in front now, 24-17. 5 minutes to go. Fourth quarter, Brusco to Jamie Germani. He finds the end zone. That ties it at 24, and it comes down to this. 5 ticks left on the clock. Emmaus in field goal range. Drew Reinhardt boots it through right down the middle, and that'll do it. Emmaus gets the big win, 27-24. Their playoff hopes still alive. Huge win for them in a battle.
Yeah, and this is a good week to be the kicker at Emmaus.
Yeah.
There's not always a good week to be a kicker, but this is a good week to be a kicker. It's a good week to be a Whitehall or Allen player, too, especially if you're on the offensive side. Tonight they hooked up at J. Bernie Crum on the turf. And how about Mike Bernhard, the former Allen quarterback, knows a thing or two about offense. Now he's the backup at Lafayette. And tonight checking out his old mates and watching some quarterbacks do some run.
Yeah, that really when you find a pace that's only yours. Just go eat beans. Well, I'm dead for good now. Let me feel it. Let I come. Let I run. Let I ride. Let me be the one. I can't feel it. I can't see it.
The following is a presentation of 2 Sports, the leader in local sports coverage.
Parkland School District Stadium in Orfield, Pennsylvania, the site of tonight's Lehigh Valley Conference showdown between the Parkland Trojans with a record of 2-6 and the Emmaus Green Hornets with a record of 7-1. Hi and welcome everyone. Al DeCaro alongside Doug Heater. Glad you could join us on 2 Sports here on this Friday night. Halloween weekend, of course, and we're not going to see any ghosts and goblins tonight, but we are going to see an exciting contest between these 2 teams, Doug. And obviously, you look at Parkland and their record at 2-6. They can be 5-3, they can be 6-2, and Emmaus, they know that as well. They're just having a great year to this point.
Well, the thing that's going to be key for both of these teams tonight for Parkland, they would love to salvage a season, if that's what you could call it, by knocking Emmaus out of the playoff race. And that's what would happen if Emmaus is to lose another game. And for the Green Hornets, they have been successful in their 8 games. They need to continue to do what they've been doing best, winning football games, winning them close. And if those things happen, they'll keep moving on.
Parkland coming off a 12-0 shutout of Deerhoff, and Emmaus coming off a victory against Whitehall. Both coaches, Joe Baudelaire and Rob Losky, know this is a game, especially looking ahead, that can mean a lot for both players.
Well, for Emmaus and Joe Baudelaire, he realizes they need to continue to do the things they've done all season long and not worry about any of the other factors around him, including teams that need to win or lose. And for Parkland and Rob Losky, that's what I said earlier. He wants to salvage this season. He wants these seniors to go out on a winning note. He wants to improve. We're going to see a lot of younger players playing tonight, getting a lot of experience, and I think that's what we're going to see with Emmaus trying to win and move on for the playoffs, and for Parkland trying to spoil those hopes.
Let's talk about one of the key players of this Emmaus offense, and that's Mike Briscoe, the senior quarterback. Obviously out of the pocket, he is very dangerous. He's approaching 1,000 yards on the season. He has 919 and 7 TDs.
Obviously, we know that Emmaus is effective on the ground with Jamie Germani, but Briscoe's that guy, and he is a player that a lot of teams are worried about. Parkland especially. Rob Milosky said we need to slow down Germani first, but worry about Briscoe. He's got talent in the receiver position. He's also very effective. We saw it last week against Whitehall, very effective with his legs. He runs this offense very well, a great leader, a lot of experience. If he's successful tonight, so will be Emmaus.
For Parkland on the other side, Greg Hager is their quarterback, injured early on in the year, but he's come into his own as expected. 335 yards, a touchdown, and maybe tonight could be a night where he could break out.
I think this is a player with the injury and not being on this team hurt him, and now as he's worked in, he's gotten better and better. And defenses have been more and more concerned. He ran the offense a lot last year, and this is a main weapon for this Parkland team that Emmaus has got to be concerned about. Something that teams weren't able to prepare for early in the year, they've got to prepare for now.
Senior night here at Parkland. Doug Heater all dressed up for Halloween. That is a mask on his face, or is it? I'm not really sure.
Well, I knew you were going to get to that. It seems like Halloween tradition weekend is here. No, this is me. Sorry, I have to apologize. This is me.
That is really Doug Heater, and this is me, Al DeCarlo. Emmaus Parkland next on 2 Sports.
You think about the roads people drive on, how each one is different. Then you build a family of cars that treats them all the same. The 2005 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive. For confidence on any road.
When you need a prescription filled, who do you turn to? Walters Pharmacy. Walters Pharmacy compounds prescriptions and takes filling prescriptions as their #1 priority. At Walters, you'll save time. Trust Walters Pharmacy for convenience with free, fast delivery in the city of Allentown. You can visit walterspharmacy.net and email the pharmacists with questions. Since 1937, Walters Pharmacy, making life easier through genuine care.
Allentown Business School means absolute success with degrees in medical, technology, business, design, and legal studies. You get the right skills from specialized training that can put you on the road to success in as little as 18 months.
ABS gives the students what they need to succeed. I would definitely recommend it to anybody that wants to get a career and get on their feet and get into the work world.
Not too many people can get up every morning and say to themselves, you know what, I'm only 23 and I have a career.
Call ABS today and discover absolute success tomorrow.
Welcome back to Parkland School District Stadium in Orfield, Pennsylvania. Al DeCaro alongside Doug Heater as we take a look at both teams ready to come out into the field. The Parkland Trojans check in with a record of 1-5, 2-6 overall under fourth-year head coach Rob Malosky. Third-year head coach Joe Baudelaire for the Emmaus Green Hornets. Tonight's game brought to you by Allentown Mazda Volvo, Brown Dobb Volvo. And we expect a great contest in this one, no question about it. And I think, Doug, from the start of the game to the finish, we may see nonstop action. You know, when you talk about football, you usually see nonstop action. But in a game like this, and, you know, despite the records of caliber, Emmaus knows that they're playing a tough team. We mention that, and we keep mentioning it each week. Let's take a look at the keys for the Emmaus Green Hornets tonight.
Here's the keys to the game for the Green Hornets, and it's something they've been doing all season long. They need to move the ball consistently on offense, and for their defense, avoid that big play. You don't want to see Parkland get in the game, get ahead in the game, buy a big play, get the crowd going, and win that kicking game. It's getting later in the season. The field conditions aren't great. It's a little bit of a mist falling, so the special teams and kicking game also a key.
Take a look at the Parkland Trojans and their keys to the game, Doug.
Well, one of the things we talked about, stopping Germani, that needs to be the bread and butter on any defense when you face this Green Hornet team this season. But then if you do that, you need to keep your eye on Brusco and keep him in that pocket, what I talked about earlier. You don't want to let him get out and run. When he runs, it gives him an option of running or throwing, and, of course, sustain those drives, no turnovers. They feel, Rob Malosky coaching staff, they feel that had they done that this season more, sustain those drives and avoid those key turnovers, this team could be 6-2.
Yep. Now, take a look at one of the key players and, you know, talk about both sides of the ball. But, you know, we saw him as a terror a week ago. And Brian Reese, number 70, 6'1", 270, the senior, Doug. He's capable of, you know, really dominating a football game.
Well, first of all, in a couple months, this is probably the #1 ranked heavyweight in the state of Pennsylvania. But it looks like Brian may go to Hofstra to play some football. Last week against Whitehall, the Zephyrs couldn't block him. And that's something that Parkland's got to be concerned about. We take a look at Morgan Thomas on the other side of the ball for the Parkland Trojans. He needs to be a key on both sides, too. He needs to keep his eye on Reese, block well offensively, and also be disruptive, just like Reese is going to be on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, Morgan Thomas, as you can see, wearing number 74, 6'3", 311 pounds. And, you know, he obviously, you know, is a key member of that offensive and defensive line for the Trojans, Doug.
I think that's going to be the key. We talk about it in ball games like this with the field conditions getting the way they are, getting colder, and being a big part of the season. That line of scrimmage is going to be key. Now, Emmaus, interestingly enough, won the flip on the road. They elected to defer and take the ball in the second half. What that shows you is if you're confident in your defensive squad and you're confident in what you can do defensively, and that's what Joe Baudelaire has been all year, you put your defense on the field first, force Parkland to make the plays, try to see if they can control the line of scrimmage, see if they can control field position. So it shows the confidence in the Green Hornets in that defense.
Doug, when we had, as you take a look at Greg Hager, the quarterback of this Parkland Trojan team, when we had Emmaus a week ago, you know, we talked about the win streak. They got the seven wins way back in, you know, in '86. But overall, and we did a story on Joe Baudelaire and the Emmaus Green Hornets on Lehigh Valley Sports Scene on 2 Sports, and 8 winning seasons in the last 40 years and 26 in the last 76 years. Not that many winning seasons for them, but this is a year where there's a possibility of them going for bigger and better things. And like he told us, you have 3 tough games. Whitehall they defeated. You have Parkland. You have Central Catholic. You cannot look ahead. you have to look at the present. That's what they're doing right here against this Parkland Trojan team.
And we'll get a chance later on as the game goes on to take a look at the district points and also the possibilities of what Emmaus can accomplish in the next couple weeks in points and what East Stroudsburg South can accomplish. And that's the team they're chasing right now. But something I had said last week in the game against Whitehall, and something that you're going to say again today, is this is an Emmaus squad that has a chance to do something that no Emmaus team has ever done before, and that's get into the playoffs and win 9 football games in the regular season. Something the kids have to think about. Relish the moments that they're in right now, that they're doing that well, and they have the opportunity to go where no Emmaus team has done before. Get up every Monday morning, go to practice with that on your shoulders.
They'll get ready to go here from Parkland School District Stadium is Drew Reinhardt. Set to kick off from his own 40-yard line. Tristan McCants, number 32, set back to receive. One of the players in there, but it's picked up at the 35-yard line and run back on the play by Robert Rios. And the Trojans got good field position, Doug, to start on their first possession of this game.
And we'll see if they change much from what they've been doing all season, try to come out. This is a team, you got a lot of solid players in the backfield with Guida, Benavage, and we talked about Hager, what he can do with running this offense. He has settled in the last few weeks, much more comfortable now, and I think that's something Emmaus is going to be concerned about throughout this ball game.
First down and 10. They'll start from their own 36, will the Trojans. They'll be Hager under center. And they hand this one off, and it is number 32, McCants. McCants is sophomore, gets a couple to the far side of the field. Take a look at the starting lineup for the Parkland Trojans. Hager is your quarterback in the backfield, Guida and Kuiper. Tristan McCants is your wide receiver along with Jacob Palumbo. David Stroll, the tight end. On the line, Faye, Thomas, Copeland, Owen Thomas, and William Marks. Your starting lineup from Apgar Oil. We'll have the defense in just a second. 11:25 and the clock just underway. Parkland taking on Emmaus. Hager under center. Second down and 8 from the 38. Back to the ground. Do the Trojans go on this one? And a nice carry as they rumble forward on the play.
Here's your Apgar Oil starters for the Emmaus defense. Reese, Kozak, Hensinger, Natali up front on the defensive line. Martin Yeti, Morrissey, Rotkowski, your 3 linebackers. Hirsch and Kester, the corners. DeBellis and Brusco, the safeties. Mike Brusco, big game last week from that free safety position. Did a good job against the pass and also did a nice job containing that run.
Kuiper on that last run. 3rd down and 3 from the 43. Inside 11 to play. You said the atmosphere in this one. First flag of the game, and there's open field and a first down, but we'll see what happens here on the call after that carry by Kuiper.
This is going to go against the Trojans. It looked like there was some movement. I don't know exactly where because it came from a lot of areas, but it's going to go against Parkland. Movement early. And again, we talked about one of the keys being no turnovers. This would be another one. Penalties, and especially early, and especially at key parts of the game. This being one of them, they had just converted a first down.
Yeah, 3rd down and 3 to get 12. And it comes all the way back.
Legal shift. Jim Haney, our referee tonight. Legal shift called against the Trojans. They had more than one guy in motion, and again, they all moved, so that's where they caught him.
Parkland coming off a 12-0 victory over the Deer of Huskies. Post 2 shutouts so far this season in their 2 wins. 3rd down and 8 once again from the 38. Hager under center. He's going to air this one out. Has time to throw. Looks in the middle of the field. And that one's intercepted by the Green Hornets. And it's Mike Brusco. Brusco still on his feet trying to get back to the other side of the field. Cannot, but the first turnover of the game. A penalty, then a turnover for the Trojans, and it's Mike Brusco.
And it started with the pressure that this defensive line for Emmaus was able to get on Hager. And I talked about it a few plays ago, what Brusco can do on the defensive side of the ball. Hager got a good lane to throw, just threw it a little too far in front of the intended receiver, and that was David Stroll. But a nice job by Brusco to step in front. 2 Emmaus white jerseys on the Green Hornets around Stroll on that play, and Emmaus with an opportunity. Again, let's go back to what I said earlier with Coach Baudelaire deciding to put the defense on the field. This is why you do it. You've got a short field now and try to get that early advantage.
Brusco will start from his own 38-yard line. Hands this one over to Germani. Germani sees nothing inside, tries to bounce off a defender, and then ends up getting maybe 3 yards or 2.5 or so for number 22. We saw a week ago with Jamie Germani that, you know, had the first half, had, you know, under 50 yards or whatever, and he broke out having about 100 yards in the second half. You know, he ended up with about 145 yards on the game.
This is an Emmaus team offensively that they love to wear you down. Some teams are a little bit surprised that they don't come out with a little more flair to start the game.
Apgar Oil starting lineup, Briscoe, the quarterback, Germani and Rutkowski in the backfield, Hirsch and Hurst as receivers, Morrissey the tight end, Henziger, Shankwaller, Smith, Kowalski, and Reese. Your Apgar Oil starting lineup, and to the air and a completion downfield inside the 25, down to about the 23-yard line to Tyler Hirsch, who had a couple catches for about 80 yards a week ago against Whitehall.
Take a look at the Apgar Oil starters. On the defensive side for the Trojans, Thomas, Stroll, Marks, and Thomas. Up front, Nick Guida, Ryan Coper, Brendan Gallagher, your linebackers. Parkhill, Schmidt, Benavage, and Funk in the secondary.
Nice completion to Hirsch. Down to the 23. First down and 10. Briscoe, receivers split on either side. Back to the ground, Germani, and he just jumps forward, gets taken down. A couple players in there for the Parkland Trojans, including William Marks. But Doug, you know, Coach Malowski talked about it. You know, turnovers obviously are huge, and you know it's one of the things that have been hurting them this year. And it comes early in your opening drive after the penalty that gave you the first down.
And that's been one of the problems. When you're 2-6, you're 2-6 for a reason. And it's been a matter of the whole season coming together where those are the kind of plays, back-to-back plays, penalty on one, forces you into a pure passing situation, and you get that turnover.
Second down and 7. Receivers split to the near side, one in the slot. And they go and hand this one off, and that's Rutkowski on the carry, his first carry of the game for number 32, 6'1", 200-pound junior.
Nice block up front. Watch 66 John Kowalski come right at us. Nice block there on the linebacker. The contained player, Mike Krompaski. Actually, the defensive tackle is going to come in and try to contain against that. But that little block allowed Germani to jump up in there, open up into that hole, and get close to the first down yardage.
Third down and 2. 7:50 on the clock. Opening quarter, no score. Trojans opening possession. They got intercepted, turned the ball away, and the Green Hornets now with a 3rd and 2 from the 16. To the ground. And depending on the mark, he's short of maybe about a half a yard or so, Doug.
It's going to be close. This is their jumbo package Emmaus is going to bring in. They bring in Brian Reese, number 70, off the offensive line and split him out. They split the backs. They're going to line him up to the left. But interestingly enough, there's Reese. They're going to run Germani behind the fullback. And then is Rutkowski going to go that way. Nice job by Parkland to string that run out, and this is going to be awfully close to a first down.
Have not been right all year, but I still think he's a little bit short. So might as well keep my streak going.
They're going to come awfully close. At this point, you know, if you're Emmaus, you know that it's early in the game. You're given an opportunity, a free opportunity on a turnover. You're going to go for it on 4th down, probably going to come out with the same look, and maybe this time go behind big number 70.
So it's 4th down and a half a yard. And the first really, you know, defensive opportunity here for the Trojans to take, you know, negate that interception. Briscoe will take his time under center, full house backfield. Reese back there once again. Briscoe with a long count, maybe trying to draw a Parkland offside, goes to the ground. Germani pops outside, gets the first down to the 10-yard line. Followed his blockers there. Good job by Jamie Germani to do so.
Yeah, and guess where they went? They went behind number 70. And you can see they go to the left side. Now, that's where Reese was, but you're going to see him look at number 70 in the backfield, just pushing that line out of the way. If you're Germani, you only needed about 2 feet. You're easily going to be able to get that. That particular play is probably going to get you 4 yards every time. Just way too much beef up front.
First down for Emmaus. 6:49 on the clock. Here's Germani. Gets inside the 10, down to about the 7-yard line. They marked that just outside the 10, Doug. They can get a first down, maybe at the half-yard line or so, but we'll have to wait and see what happens here.
Same formation. This is 3 straight plays that Emmaus has lined up with a full house. Reese again in the backfield. They're going to go his way to the left again. Nice block by Reese. Don't be surprised if you see Emmaus come out, maybe a little play action out of this look. Parkland is starting to bring those defense. See those guys crowding into that book and run.
2nd down and 7 for the Green Hornets. And against Germani. Germani pushing, gets inside the 5, and we saw this a week ago against Whitehall. This time he looked like he was going to do it and keep those feet going, but Parkland pushed him back as he gets about the 5-yard line, depending on where the mark is. And so far, Doug, they've been going with that bread and butter and just run it. If you can't stop us, we're going to keep going.
That's exactly what they're doing. And up to this point, Parkland's doing a decent job of stopping it, slowing it down. But how many more times can you do it? And this is plays that wears teams down, wears defenses down throughout a ball game. Emmaus, we've talked about how they love to run this style, this smash mouth, blowing you off the football. This is no different than any game they've played this year.
3rd down and 4. Now they split the receivers to the near side of the field. Germani in the backfield. Briscoe rolls, something that Coach Miloski was concerned about, his rolling ability, and he throws it in for the touchdown. Touchdown for Alex Hirsch from about 4 yards out, and Emmaus on the scoreboard, 6-0.
Tell you the threat of that run. The threat of the run inside with Germani, what they showed, and the threat of the run of Briscoe is what sets that play up. The secondary for Parkland, again, this is what Rob Miloski talked about, being concerned with what Briscoe can do. They came up trying to take away the run, and Briscoe found an open receiver in the corner.
Drew Reinhardt point after to give Emmaus a 7-0 advantage, and points off the turnovers, they are indeed 7. Emmaus leads 7-0 at the 5:10 mark, first quarter.
One of the things that jumbo package, 3 or 4 straight plays in a row, is going to do to a defense is they come out and they come out in that spread look. They come out in the wide look, 2 receivers, that's twins to the right, and then Briscoe runs that way. Nice job by Emmaus to take advantage of that turnover.
Drew Reinhardt's extra point brought to you by Allentown Mazda Volvo, Brown Daub Volvo. And with that extra point, it is a 7-0 Emmaus Green Hornet lead here early on in the game, and we'll see what Parkland can do here on their second possession.
Well, if you're the Trojans, one of the things that now you have to start worrying about is getting down. This is a 2-6 team that, coming in, spirits were up, senior night. Take a look at the drive, 9 plays, 38 yards, taking advantage of the turnover. Hurst, the 4-yarder from Briscoe. But now you've got to come out and you've got to play spirited offense. Take a look from the ground. Briscoe, the rollout, and you're going to see the defense going to come up on him once he realizes he's going to try to run. And then Hirsch is wide open in the end zone. Now, when they roll this to the long side of the field, he had a couple receivers open, but a nice job of Hirsch to kind of sneak out to that corner. Hirsch was one of the wide outs, the farthest one near to us. It was a good play.
Drew Reinhardt again goes to the ground, and once again, Parkland will get good field position on the return. I believe it was Kuiper on the return. Oh, check that. It was Robert Rihos once again from the same position as he was, and that's where Parkland will start from their own about 37-yard line. So 2 times in a row, good field position. Let's see what the Trojans do here on their second possession.
This is a key possession for them. They had a first down taken away on the illegal shift. The very next play, Hager threw an interception. We'll see how they respond. Rob Miloski told us how upbeat and how good the practice was this week and has been all season long. Now they've got a chance to shine on a Friday night. They need to establish something here on this offensive drive.
1st and 10 from the 37. Jacob Palumbo lines up to the far side of the field, and they'll hand this one off, and taken down is Stephen Benavich. Benavich, 51 carries, 272 yards, and 4 scores on the season.
Rutkowski, 32, is going to come up. One of the things that this defense is going to do is they're going to challenge you to throw the football, especially with that early turnover. Rutkowski, the linebacker, coming up, containing, and nobody could block him.
Inside 5 to play. Opening quarter. Hope you're enjoying our coverage, Friday Night Football on 2 Sports. Hager under center, 2nd down and 11 from about the 36-yard line. And they'll go to the ground once again.
Good job by the offensive line. Guida, nice little kick-out block. But this time it's Morrissey, another linebacker. We've talked about the defensive line of Emmaus over the last couple weeks. But Rutkowski, Morrissey, a lot of talent in the linebacker core. We also see Martin Yeti, these guys doing a good job. And again, challenging this Trojan offense to throw the football. They're bringing 8 guys up into the box. And even though that offensive line got a good surge on the defensive line, the linebackers were there to clean it up.
Kuiper in the backfield, 2 receivers split. Now Kuiper in motion to the near side, and Hager gets some blocking in front. Shovel pass, and they get a couple there as they move forward, and that's Benavich coming out of the backfield.
You could see that play developing, but another good job by the defense of staying at home and moving down the line of scrimmage with the defense, seeing that shovel pass. The coaches have prepared for this. Good job by the offensive line, the shovel pass, but see the flow of the linebackers. Nice job that time. Kyle Kozak, 85, the defensive end, making that stop.
Mark Quilling for the Trojans to punt from his own 29-yard line. First punt for the Parkland Trojans. This one gets up high, and it'll be fielded at about the 30-yard line. Taken there by Tyler Hirsch, and he finally goes down.
Good defensive stop, 2 good defensive series for Emmaus. The offense back on the field again. That Parkland off, now the defense is going to be called upon for the Trojans because they've got to stop. A much longer field this time for Emmaus. Had a tough time with that short field in the previous possession, but now they want to get a 3 and out, get their offense back on the field, let their offense start to do some work.
Obviously, we've talked about this, all week, even last week. Doug, you and I, East Stroudsburg South, still the 4th team in that spot for the districts. But what Coach Battaleri keeps telling his team is, we just have to worry about ourselves and see what happens down the road. And after they won against Whitehall, next thing you know, East Stroudsburg South lost, so they did their part. Now let's see if they can do it again. It's going to be Briscoe in the play action. Now scrambling, nowhere to go as he's brought down by a host of Parkland Trojans, as they're coming from everywhere, including number 74, as expected, Morgan Thomas.
Good job by that defense that really set up in the secondary. Briscoe rolling on that play action to Germani, looking for Hirsch. He was covered well downfield. Both Hirsches were covered well downfield. Take a look at Thomas, 74 from the defensive side. We talked about him earlier, keeping the quarterback in front of him, and he's going to get credit finishing off that sack. But the secondary does a good job of covering, and then Briscoe nowhere to go.
Doug, Morgan Thomas moving over 2 big players. That just, kind of shows the type of player that Morgan Thomas is. 2nd down and 14, to the ground they go, and not much there at all as the defense for the Trojans stepping up there on the carry by Rutkowski.
Fullback trap. Good job by that defense for Parkland. Again, this is going to be a must stop, and they've put themselves in good position with that pressure on 1st down. Emmaus in the play action, a lot of guys don't like to throw on 1st down, and this is why it puts you in passing situations if you can't get good yardage on 2nd. But I think for Emmaus, they needed to open it up a little bit, and a good job for Parkland. Now, though, they need to stop one more time. This is a must stop for them defensively here.
1:27 on the clock, opening quarter. Quick moving first quarter, 7-0 in favor of Emmaus. 3rd down, 13 from the 27. They go trips far side of the field for Mike Briscoe. And he hands it off to Rutkowski, not much there, and he stopped about the 29-yard line, and Emmaus will have to punt this ball away.
A very safe series after the 1st down sack. Safe play to run on the draw. They run out trips. But a good job. First, they get a little bit of pursuit, a little bit of penetration by Krempaski, 51. He slows things down, but that was a safe series after that 1st sack. Emmaus is a team that doesn't make a lot of mistakes, and you see why.
4th down and 9. It'll be Briscoe punting. And we got a flag down with 36 seconds on the clock.
Parkland's got 12 players on the field. They've got too many.
Substitution penalty against the defense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
See Jim Haney doing a great job, and obviously, Jim Haney, and, you look at Frank Scagliotta, and, they go to do the Big East in basketball and, NCAA tournaments as well, and, doing a fine job, Frank D'Angelo, just a week ago, did the Lehigh game against Bucknell. so we're seeing some of our officials, even, get jumped up and popped up to the NCAA level. That's great to see. 4th down and 4. Once again, it'll be Briscoe punting. It's time from his own 22-yard line. Here comes the rush. He does get it off. And it's fielded around the 32. And it's Benavich up to the 40, 45, 50. Benavich has a long way to go here, but he's getting downfield, finds a crease in the middle, and he's gone. Stephen Benavich fields it and goes about 72 yards.
2 big blocks on that play, and that's all you need. That's the spark you need. Special teams, defense, whatever it takes to get your team back in it. And this is what we've seen what Benavich can do in his career. He's a 3-year starter, he's played some 3-year player on this offense and defensive side. That's a great job by the special teams unit to get the job done.
Well, while it's early, Parkland gets the boost there. Point after here coming up to make it 7-0. It was a low snap. That one is good. And we have a 7-7 game on the point after, Doug. And, you get the Allentown Mazda Volvo, Brown Dodge Volvo, and the sponsoring, of course, the point after. And we may see a lot of point afters the way it's going right now early on. The punt return and the interception turning into a touchdown. Take a look one more time as this ball is fielded.
Well, he gets
it at the 32-yard line.
32. One block coming up right here. I think it was 82. I'm not sure where that was for Parkland that got it, but there is McCants, 32, that really shields Briscoe. It's not a great block, but he just does his job. Yeah. Benavich out of the end zone. Might have gotten away with one right there doing that, but that's the spark that this Trojan offense needed. So 2 big blocks, McCants being the second one. Good job by the special teams. Whatever it takes to get yourself in. Now, any of that momentum that had gone Emmaus's way after that opening turnover and then the opening drive for a touchdown, Parkland's got back. Defense was able to stop him with a big sack on 1st down. They're going to be called upon again to do the same thing.
68-yard punt return by Stephen Benavich. 4.4 ticks on the clock, opening quarter. And we said a quick moving first quarter. And for Parkland, getting that, they give you a little momentum heading into quarter number 2 as they kick off here. On the ground, get a good hop. And Emmaus trying to return this one, nothing there. So the Trojans, as time expires on quarter number 1, 7-7 through 1 from Orfield. We'll be back on 2 Sports.
Winning takes more than the athlete, more than the coaches, more than the pain and sweat from grueling training.
It takes more to orchestrate the win.
It takes a dedicated team. Bethlehem Sporting Goods and Russell Athletic are that dedicated team. Suit up with Bethlehem Sporting Goods and Russell Athletic. Bethlehem Sporting Goods, your Russell Athletic team headquarters.
Welcome back. Parkland 7, Emmaus 7. Al DiCarlo, Doug Heater. We're not 7. You add those 2 and add some more. We got many more years after that. That's for sure. Halloween weekend around the Lehigh Valley, depending on where you were. Actually, Emmaus was yesterday. I don't know if Parkland's was tonight or tomorrow. And here's Germani. Germani gets a couple. Again, slow start here for Emmaus when it comes to the ground attack. But, Doug, we see what Germani can do when it comes to the second half.
And this is a team that likes to wear you down. The offense likes to wear you down. They were in good position. And again, this is the complaint or any negative that Emmaus may hear is that last series that they did offensively. Why, fans, and why do they do that? Well, they're conservative and they're content with their lead. But Parkland took advantage of an opportunity on special teams. But they're still playing in their game, and they're going to still do their things offensively.
Tyler Hirsch, Germani lined up to the far side of the field. 2nd down and 9 from the 26. You take a good look at Mike Briscoe. Through the air and incomplete. Was looking in the direction of Hirsch. And Doug, that play has worked. That was the first time actually it didn't work since we saw him the last 2 weeks.
Well, they did that last week, and we knew they were going to eventually go to that. They stretched Hirsch down the sideline too, but don't be surprised. In fact, expect Emmaus to go back to that. Parkland laying back in the secondary in the zone, and Guida was the linebacker, 27, a little bit up on that. And the deep defensive back for Parkland coming up to contain Ryan Schmidt, 21, was a little late to arrive. So don't be surprised to see them run that slant again.
3rd down and 9 from the 26. Trojan defense has really been superb here after they gave up the interception that led to some points. Briscoe, here comes some rush. He has time to throw. Airs it up in the middle of the field and looking again for number 3. And that one incomplete as Tyler Hirsch can't hold on. 3 players around him as trying to go up top was Mike Briscoe.
Well, Hirsch is going to want this back, especially after they see the tape of this one. He split the secondary. Parkland only brought 4. They dropped 7 back in the coverage. Good protection up front because the Trojans only rushed 4 players. You see him dropping back in his zone, but Hirsch splits the secondary, splits between the 2 defenders there. He's wide open, hits him in the wrong spot, hits him in the hands. Good protection with the 4. You can't give Briscoe that lane to step up and throw. See there? It's right there delivered. So there's another play. Now Emmaus realizes what they can do. Even though they didn't get anything on that series, they realize what they're going to be able to do as this game wears on.
4th down and 9 from the 26. From his own 13. It'll be Briscoe punting again for Emmaus, and this one taken at about the 42-yard line by Robert Rios. And Rios taken down immediately on the play. Andrew Morrissey, the 5'9", 210-pound senior, with a stop.
You know, Al, earlier you brought something up. Halloween. 2 things I don't understand why we don't do this anymore. 2 things. Number 1, we stopped playing football games in the rain. I don't understand that. Secondly, when do we stop having trick-or-treat on Halloween?
Yep.
Those are 2 things that have to go back to the way it used to be. Boy, if it rains, we can't play football games anymore, and then now we can't trick-or-treat on that night.
Doug, how about we do this? Maybe it's going to be raining on trick-or-treat night on October 31st, and if it does rain, we'll have you just going out and start knocking on everyone's doors, and then after go have a little pickup football game at the same time. 1st down and 10 from the 41 for the Trojans. They start on the ground and taken down quickly are the Trojans and number 38, Rios.
Well, Morrissey does a good job, 35, to come up against the run. I talked about it a couple series ago about how well Parkland's offense is controlling this Emmaus defensive line, but what it's allowing them to do. When you have a defensive line as good as Emmaus is, you're taking up those bodies. And then the linebackers, Martin Yeti 4, Rutkowski 32, Morrissey 35, filling those lanes and getting up and making those stops.
10:18 on the clock, 2nd quarter, tied up at 7, 2nd down and 9 from the 42. And we talked about the Parkland defense stepping up. How about Reese stepping up along with the Emmaus Green Hornets? As coming up hobbling there just a little bit after that tackle, helping out was Kyle Kozak of Emmaus, number 85.
First series, Reese lines up on the strong side, the tight end. Not this series. Watch this. They missed the trap block. Reese is the guy they were responsible for, and that's an easy tackle for number 70, Brian Reese. That first series, we talked about it last week, he moved around. He'd been lining up on the strong side or over the tight end. That time he stays away from it. Doing that, Parkland thinks that he's on the other side, and they run his way and right into his arms.
3rd down, 10 from the 41. Hager to throw this one, and that one is complete. And then move it upfield and maybe get an extra yard or so is Tristan McCants.
So McCants carried the ball on the first play of scrimmage for Parkland. And now what he can do from the wide receiver position out in the open. This is a new player to this lineup, a new starter. He's just a sophomore, and you can see what he can do. They're trying to get him out in the open on a safe play, maybe trying to break a tackle, but Emmaus does a good job of containing him.
4th down and 4. Mark Quilling will punt from his own 33-yard line. Oh, no, he won't. Mark Quilling, who has had some quarterback play, and that one incomplete. Had a receiver downfield, Doug, as he was looking that way. Of course, when Hager was, injured, he played in there. Mike Parkhill was the intended receiver, the 6', 169-pound sophomore, Doug, and they had Emmaus beat there on that play.
They did. They come out in a wacky-looking formation. No pressure at all, and he was wide open. Watch this, Parkhill.
Watch out for your popcorn at home, folks.
Just through his hands. It's been that kind of a season. That's the only way to put that. That's a play that, when you're at this point 7-1 or 8-0, those plays are going to work. but it's been that kind of a year.
Well, it could have been a great conversion and, moving the ball, and they would have had the ball around the 30-yard line. Instead, it's Emmaus now with 8:46 on the clock, first half, from their Parkland's 45-yard line. Briscoe goes with two receivers split on either side. On the options, got Germani. He could try to get to the outside, but won't as he gets tripped up on the play by Parkhill. So Parkhill comes right back with a big defensive stop there.
He does a great job. Parkhill does an awesome job on this spot. He's going to come up, number 8, and as you read the defensive end, Parkhill's going to come up as a linebacker. He makes Briscoe pitch it, but then he chases Germani down the sideline, and he's able to make the stop. Good job. Usually, if you're that contained player, and Parkhill was, your job is to make the quarterback pitch and then hit him and eliminate him from the play. But he strung it out great. Good defensive play on first down.
Second down and 9 from the 45. 8:05 on the clock. Tyler Hirsch, quick to get to the far side of the field. And they'll start on the ground. Here's Germani. Finds a seam and somehow squeaks his way through and gets to the 40. Doug, sometimes it seems like Jamie Germani is nowhere to go, and somehow we see him always come out of a pile.
Well, the offensive line does a nice job of blocking, and we've seen this earlier in the season where teams will run this motion with a fullback. In this case, I believe it was Marcy coming off the wing, and it simulates a trap. You put him in position, so you keep your 5 linemen, and they'll block heads up, but then you bring a fullback into the backfield, and he'll be the trap or the pulling guard, and he's able to clean off a linebacker, and that's why Germani is able to gain 6 yards.
Third down and 4 from the 41-yard line. 7:17 on the clock. Briscoe with two receivers split near side. Back to the ground, Germani. And he's going to be short of the first down once again. Brendan Gallagher, the stop for the Trojans.
Watch Gallagher, 49. He's going to come in from the backside. They're going to trap with Reese, number 70. Gallagher's going to come up, do a good job of coming up and filling that lane. Helped out also there by Ryan Kuiper, number 30. But this Trojan defense has been very solid since that first series. A lot of life left in this team. They've done a nice job of stopping Emmaus in their strong areas, running the football, getting a little bit of pressure, and stopping them on a pass.
Well, 4th and 3 from the 39 with 6:30 on the clock. We have to punt the ball away, and it's Briscoe. That goes off the side of his foot, and it'll be great field position again for the Trojans. And Doug, you look at that drive for Emmaus, to get the ball back, after Parkhill doesn't make that catch, an opportunity maybe with the time in the half to do some damage, and they don't go that far.
And I tell you what, Al, this is settling into what we expected to see tonight, a tight ball game. And these are the kind of games, people joke, well, what kind of game are you going to expect to see on Friday night? Well, we've got Emmaus, which means we're going to see a tight one and we're going to see a good one, and that's exactly what we're getting. This Parkland team, again, we talked about it earlier, a couple plays, 5 or 6 plays from being 6-2. They're a good football team. They got a lot of good players, and they play good defense as well. These two teams very similar in what they like to do offensively and what they do defensively, and that's why we're sitting in a 7-7 tie.
1st and 10 from the 33 for Parkland. And Doug, ever since, that interception, their defense has held strong. Well, look it up the line is McCants tiptoeing his way up that line and getting the first down.
Well, something we said earlier on what he can do, just a sophomore, what he can do with the ball. They run that end around, and boy, Parkland's done this for so many years with some great backs coming out of that wing back position. This was the play that the Trojans started the game with. Much more success this time with McCants. He is a player that could be that next big player wearing the Trojan red for this team, and I think that's what they're trying to look at tonight. What can he do with the football? Can he become a dangerous threat?
1st and 10 from the 48. Out of bounds, it was McCants, so it stopped the clock with 6:10. First half, 7-7 your score. Again, McCants in motion. Instead, they go right up the gut, and not there and not fooled as Ryan Kuiper goes through is the Emmaus defense.
Trying to get them, exactly, trying to fool them a little bit, get them to go with McCants. They run that dive behind him. Good job by the defense to stay at home and make a nice stop.
First down for the Parkland Trojans. Doug, I look on the other side of the field and I'm looking at the old press box. Obviously, they put new stands on this far side of the field where we're broadcasting from. And remember years ago, used to broadcast from there, and sometimes you've been all the way up top as well and just barely seeing it. You know how things change, and a lot of press boxes in the area as McCants with another drive and moves the chains once again. But this press box, Emmaus has a new press box, and it makes our job a heck of a lot easier as well.
Here's another look by McCants on that speed sweep as they run it this time again with success. I think I might have a story to beat on that one. I did a game on radio outside here in the stands. It was Nazareth's district semifinal against the Trojans in one of the best high school games you're ever going to see. So a lot of memories, but this is, again, one of the finest facilities to see and do a football game.
Doug, if you want, I could broadcast the rest of the game from here. You can go on that side.
Okay.
First down and 10 from the 38. Again, they go through the middle, and there's a first down. They fumble the ball away. And I'm not sure who has this one. Parkland says they do. Emmaus say they do, and still no indication. And it's Parkland football. And look, it was Kuiper on the carry. It looked like Briscoe maybe went and stripped it away.
Well, they're going to run the dive again. We've seen a series of
Doug,
plays.
They're talking this one over as well. No, it's still Parkland's football.
Yeah, a series of plays. Briscoe's going to come up, and he's going to pull it out here on Kuiper. Just rips it out of there, and then somebody gets underneath that pile. I don't know if Kuiper gets it back. Looks like he might be the one that gets it back. But they ran the speed sweep with McCants. Then they ran the dive to Kuiper and did it the exact same series again, and much more success on that dive play again. Now Emmaus has got to be honest on somebody from Parkland running around the ends on those sweeps.
Now they tried it a couple times. Now it's starting to work here. Here they go again, and they try to come to the outside. This has worked. There's a flag on the play. And McCants couldn't get to the outside. Was trying to, find that sideline and maybe go down that line again. Not much there, but the flag was thrown. A couple flags thrown, and there's going to be a holding call here on Parkland. Again, the worst time, and, they're just moving downfield. An opportunity with 4:20 maybe to pop one in, and they get called with a penalty.
Emmaus is going to talk about it because it spotted the foul, and it was down the field a little ways.
Holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Take a look at this one again. It looks like it might have been David Stroll that got a piece right there. I don't know if that is the one or not, but it did come from the backside. But it was right in front of that play on McCants. So we've seen them run that play successfully a couple times now, 3 times actually on this drive.
Well, they had the ball down towards the 20, 25-yard line. Now it's back to the 31. First down and 16 from the 31. Inside 4 to play. They'll go from the ground, see if they can get something going here. Nick Guida, his first carry of the night. Number 27, 5'11", 200-pound senior. Came in with 266 yards and 4 TDs from the ground.
Take a look at Morrissey coming from the linebacker spot, filling that hole again. Nice job by Morrissey. He doesn't make the stop, but what he does is slows Guida down and allows the rest of the team to come up. DeBellis, 33, comes up from the secondary to stop that run.
Pickup of about 4, brings up second down and 12 from the 27. Hager again to Guida. Guida tries to pop outside. Comes back in and moves up, and Doug gets inside the 20 down to about the 18-yard line. A nice pickup there by Nick Guida.
Yeah, nice job by Guida to read those blocks. The play run designed to maybe go off tackle, come up, it's filled. Kuiper's going to get the block. That's where Guida's supposed to go. You see Kuiper fills the hole, but he's going to bounce it outside, cover up the football, and do a good job to get a nice gain to set them up into a makeable third down.
Ball sits right at the 20-yard line, 2:38 and counting. Both teams have all 3 of their timeouts left. There you see third down and 4. 7-7 your score. Emmaus scoring first. Parkland coming back on the Stephen Benavich 68-yard punt return at the 4.4 second mark of the first quarter. And here's Guida. He got him there, and he moves the chains inside the 15 down to about the 13. So 3 straight carries by number 27.
Those speed sweeps and those fullback dives to Kuiper, and now Parkland comes out in a different look. They're coming out in more of a power look. They come out in an I formation with 2 tight ends. They've been moving Gallagher around. Kuiper does a good job of picking up Rutkowski, and it allows, now with Kuiper as your fullback, an extra blocker in the backfield, he has been picking up the linebackers like Rutkowski, Morrissey, and Martignetti, who have been filling those holes before. So a very, very productive drive here for the Trojans.
1st and 10 from the 12, and you got to give a lot of credit to the Trojans defense for stepping up on 3 straight possessions by Emmaus after turning the ball over the first time. Again, it's Guida, pops off a couple defenders and gets down to a 1. Nick Guida now starting to open up some big holes inside.
And again, now they bring Gallagher, 49, who's the tight end. He's going to come in motion, and he's going to handle the kick-out block. He's going to handle the contained player. Watch Gallagher come up. There's Gallagher getting the chip on the end, and then Kuiper's going to get the kick out. Guida, with great effort, is going to get a first down and nearly get in the end zone. Very, very impressive drive by this Parkland offense.
Parkland at the 1. Here you see the clock, 1:25 and counting. Hager under center. Guida, who's been there, it's what, 4 or 5 straight carries by number 27. Hager with the long count. We'll go back to 27 and touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown run by Nick Guida puts Parkland on top by a score of 13-7. You hear the applause from the crowd. And I don't know how many games there were, have been up, when you look at their score. Have 2 shutouts, but also have been shut out twice this year.
Well, that was a nice drive, a statement drive. And Parkland coming out in that double wing and then running McCants on that sweep a couple times and then adjusting inside the 30-yard line, going back to a power look in the I formation. That was very, very effective.
Andrew Kolar with the point after. That is good as you take a look at Nick Guida. And it's 14-7 after the point after. Sponsored by Allentown Mazda Volvo, Brown Daub Volvo. 14-7 Trojans on top.
You're going to take a look at this touchdown by Guida now. He's going to do a good job of going back against the grain. Watch the flow of the offensive line. Look at that. They're slanting to the right. So there's Guida just needing to find a seam. You can run that with the flow to the right, and when you find an alleyway backwards, you cut back against the grain. You're only a yard out. You fall forward to the end zone. Scoring drive, 10 plays, 67 yards, 5:11 off the clock. The most impressive thing about that was how well Parkland, no passes. They did it on the ground, but they did it by stretching out the defense with those sweeps. Then they changed their look. They changed their look offensively. They went back to really your more bread and butter Parkland style look offensively with a fullback Kuiper and a tailback this time Guida. And they were able to use 2 tight ends and power Emmaus off the football 3, 4, 5 yards at a time. It was very effective.
Doug, you look at Benavich with the touchdown and the punt return, 68 yards with 4.4 seconds. Then with 1:08 is Nick Guida with his 1-yard touchdown run, and Parkland on top by a score of 14-7. And really, with 1:08 and 3 timeouts, depending on the field position here, Trojans have been playing a very good football team with the exception of a couple penalties, which have hurt him, and also the turnovers.
Now, see, I don't like this. I mean, they're chipping it out of bounds, but what it's going to do is it's going to give Brusco 60 yards to work with. In fact, less than that, because Emmaus has got a pretty good field goal kicker. We saw that last week. With the timeouts that you talked about, Al, minute 8, no time goes off the clock. And we've seen that Emmaus can stretch this defense with Hirsch. They ran a slant over the middle that was effective, and they ran that deep one down the field that was effective, too.
1:08 on the clock, first half. Hope you're enjoying our coverage, Friday Night Football on 2 Sports. Al DiCarlo and the ever so popular Doug Heater with us in the booth tonight.
Apologizing for my mask again. Let's see what Emmaus does now with this time left. I think this changes the mindset. If you're Joe Baudelaire, you start inside your 30 or inside the 25, you probably run the clock out, maybe run a couple safe plays. I don't think you're going to do it now. Here they come out trips.
Guida had 32 yards of the 67 on that last drive. First down and 10 from the 40. And they hand that one off, and there's a possibility of a big run coming up here. And we saw Germani do this before, and Doug, the clock will stop momentarily. Of course, they do have 3 timeouts when they move the chains, but Germani with a big run and sets up a good position here for Emmaus with 1 minute on the clock.
Parkland's familiar with the draw play right before the half. They've done it so many times. With the Trojans only rushing 4, a nice job by the offensive line to pick away those 4 players. Germani down the near sideline is as good as a deep pass. Now, if you're Parkland, you're guessing. When they come out in a trips look again, are they going to throw or are they going to run that draw play another time?
They opt not to take the timeout inside 50 seconds with 3 timeouts left. They go trips far side. Briscoe under center. Looks to air it out. Can't find anyone. There's running room if he can get into the middle of the part. Here comes the rush, however, and Briscoe throws it away at the last second. And they'll say incomplete as he just got it away. And David Stroll was one of the players on his back and almost dragging him down. That stops the clock with 34 seconds on the clock.
Briscoe was waiting. He was waiting for Hirsch to clear deep down the field at this point. But this is when Stroll gets the pressure. And his knee isn't down, and he does have a receiver out front. The receiver he's looking for was Mark Kalo, number 20. But he was waiting for Hirsch to come across the middle. This time, though, not like the play earlier in the game that had Hirsch had the ball go through his hands. But this time, Ryan Schmidt, 21, came up from the secondary, and he was there. 2 Trojan defenders on Hirsch, and that's why Briscoe elected to keep it, tuck it under, and then able to throw it away at the very last moment.
2nd and 10 from the 32. 34 seconds left. Briscoe again has trips and Germani in the backfield. He's going to go towards the end zone with this one up in the air and incomplete as he again was looking for Hirsch.
Good coverage downfield. Kuiper, one of the players, blanket coverage right on Hirsch. Another thing that this Emmaus team and these receivers can do, they have the ability to go down the sideline. Briscoe, again, the protection. He's only got 4 rushing him. And you're going to see the great coverage by Kuiper, just getting a hand up in front of Hirsch's face.
28 seconds left. Now 3rd down and 10. Obviously in a position of 2-down territory here, Doug. And, well, we'll have to wait and see depending on where they get the ball. Drew Reinhardt, we know he's got some range, but from how far, well, we may have to wait and see here. 3rd down and 10 from the 32. Briscoe. Good defense by the Trojans. Now looking. There's Hirsch again. And that one's incomplete, overthrown on the coverage was Benavich.
They line up Hirsch to the different side of the offense, but Benavich stays with him. Obviously his responsibility, and he was right up on the coverage, doing a good job of staying with him again. Briscoe tried to stretch it out a little bit farther this time, but just overthrew him a little bit.
Well, Doug, they went for the home run on the last 2 plays. They need 10 yards to move the chains, and they do have the timeouts. Let's see what they decide to do here.
And you're right about Reinhardt. He kicked a key field goal last week. Very strong leg, but at this point, I think they do have the timeout, so don't be surprised if they do try to throw one over the middle. Gain that 1st down, maybe run a play, and then get Reinhardt in here.
Absolutely. It's 14-7. Parkland was down 7-0, scored 2 unanswered. They lead 14-7. 4th and 10 from the 32. Receivers 2 on the far side, 1 to the near side. They just pop this one out. And it's Kalo. Kalo gets towards the marker and actually gets out of bounds. Will stop the clock with about 12 ticks. Mark Kalo, the sophomore, and Doug, now you're in a position to really have a couple plays.
What Emmaus did is they put Germani in the slot, and he clears this open area at the top part of your screen that Kalo now fills. And his job is to catch it, make sure you catch it first, and get as far down the field and, if possible, get out of bounds. It's exactly what he's done. And now you're right. They have the opportunity with 12.7 to go to run a play. With those timeouts, all they need is 1 to run a play, whether it be down the sideline, in the end zone, over the middle, wherever it is, because you've got enough time to call that timeout, get that unit on the field.
And you're in that situation. If he's, Reinhardt's in range from 37, you go for the end zone. If he's not, they're going for about 5 more yards. We'll see what they do here. 1st and 10 from the 20. Briscoe. Oh, in the middle of the field was Kalo. Couldn't get to him, and he gets taken down. And with 7 seconds, he may as well have to take a timeout. And now I'm going to be out of the range, I would think. This would make it pretty tough there for Reinhardt now.
Mike Kampaski, 51. Watch the pressure. And he's going to beat Reese around that near side. I'm sorry, that wasn't Brian Reese. He was able to beat Hensinger, 78. That sack's huge. You're right. He had Kalo open over the middle, number 1, but it might have brought them out of field goal range. This is a tough one. This is going to be 47-yard field goal is
Doug,
tough to make.
you have an opportunity to maybe get 10 yards, go down there, and then call timeout once again. Let's see what they decide to do here. Obviously, a quick play is still possible with 7 seconds, but it's got to be a perfectly designed play as well. Tonight's game brought to you in part by ABE Doors and Windows, Allentown Business School, Apgar Oil, Kleckner & Sons Appliance, Kraus Dodge, Lanta Metro, Nazareth Music Center, R&J Carpet Connection, and Yakos. We thank all our sponsors on 2 Sports here Friday Night Football.
think there is enough time to run another play. You're going to try to do that. It's got to be a quick play. I don't know if you're committed to put it in the end zone. At this point, 7 seconds, you're going to have to go there and go for all or nothing. But if you're going to try to move it down the field a little bit closer to get Reinhardt in field goal range, you have enough time with 7 seconds. That last play took just about 5.
Yeah, you're right. 2nd down and 20 from the 30. They get to the 20. It's a 37-yard field goal. Let's see what they do here. Briscoe looking. He's going towards the end zone. That one's going to be incomplete with 1.2 on the clock. So they still have one last chance really just to go for it.
That's what they're going to try to do.
4 chances really at the end zone in this drive from the 20.
Guida's going to come up with a little bit of pressure.
Germani with a good block there.
Yep. I tell you, Benavage has done a good job on Hirsch. Obviously his responsibility.
Well, Trojans can go in the locker room with a 7-point advantage if they stop them on this play. 3rd down and 20 from the 30. Likely the last play unless there's a defensive penalty for Briscoe. Steps, throws, and that one's incomplete. We're through one half of football from Parkland. The Trojans on top of Emmaus by the score of 14-7. We'll be back on 2 Sports.
Fans, if you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader, Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus, featuring GE washers and dryers, GE dishwashers, GE microwaves, GE ranges, GE refrigerators. Plus, Kleckner's features free delivery, backed by their own factory-trained service department. Hurry in for best selection. Make us your last stop and see the savings on new GE appliances at Kleckner's, 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street, Emmaus.
Let's go get Yakult. You know it's always been the best. Let's go get Yakult for quality that beats the rest. They got cheesesteaks, French fries. The famous Yakult hot dog is known worldwide. Let's go get Yakult. The secret sauce is one of a kind.
Yakult's, an Allentown tradition. You think about the roads people drive on, how each one is different. Then you build a family of cars that treats them all the same. The 2005 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive. For confidence on any road.
He doesn't report to a management committee. He doesn't report to a marketing department. He reports to Mary Johnson's arthritis, to Sally Wickstrom's upset stomach, and to Greg Porter's poison oak. He's your family prescription center pharmacist. He lives and works right here in town, so that means he reports to you. Call Family Prescription Center today at 866-0709.
Taking the time to care, Family Prescription Center.
Remember when life was much simpler? It was easy to know who could be trusted to carpet your home.
Today, the choices are overwhelming. Make it simple. Make it Mohawk Color Center.
Celebrating 125 years of Mohawk commitment to floor covering quality, comfort, and style. Now offering selections of carpet made with Anso Crush Resistor 3 nylon.
Mohawk Color Center, where the value of family and an appreciation for the simple beauty of home are woven into everything we do.
Visit R&J Carpet Connection, 922 North 3rd Street in Whitehall.
Face it, you're addicted to sport. That's why we're on the scene. Hang with me and the 2 Crew weekdays at 6 and 9:30 exclusively on Service Electric Cable and join the sports scene. It's your wild ride through the sports scene in and around the Lehigh Valley. Exciting game highlights, in-depth profiles of coaches, athletes, and personality making sports news. It's your total sports fix. Lehigh Valley Sports Scene weekdays on Service Electric 2 Sports, your leader in local sports coverage.
They say that nothing lasts forever, but durable, long-lasting Rainer garage doors from ABE Doors and Windows put this cliche to the test. They're made from the highest quality materials and are actually guaranteed to last as long as you own your home. In fact, the only thing as reliable as Rainer is the company who installs it. To find out more about worry-free Rainer garage doors, call the ABE Doors and Windows man in Allentown. Because quality doesn't cost, it pays.
There's your halftime score. Trojans 14, Green Hornets 7. This evening's halftime show, sponsored by Lanta, Nazareth Music Center, and R&J Carpet Connection, located on North 3rd Street in Whitehall. For our halftime entertainment this evening, we will be entertained by the Parkland High School Marching Band under the direction of Jason LaRue. The band will play El Fuego with trumpet soloist Bridget Copes and Crystal Marsteller. They will also play Soak Up the Sun and conclude the show with Let It Whip by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Sit back and enjoy the Parkland High School Marching Band.
Allentown Business School means absolute success with degrees in medical, technology, business, design, and legal studies. You get the right skills from specialized training that can put you on the road to success in as little as 18 months.
I graduated in September. By October, I was already working. 18 months, you're in, you're out, and you're on your way into the workforce.
When I came here and graduated in 18 months, this was probably the best thing that I've ever done.
Call ABS today and discover absolute success tomorrow.
Hey, football fans! If you love dealing with a winning team, head to the leader, Kleckner's in Whitehall and Emmaus, featuring GE washers and dryers, GE dishwashers, GE microwaves, GE ranges, GE refrigerators. Plus, Kleckner's features free delivery, backed by their own factory-trained service department. Hurry in for best selection. Make us your last stop and see the savings on new GE appliances at Kleckner's, 2177 MacArthur Road in Whitehall and 575 Chestnut Street, Emmaus.
Face it, you're addicted to sport. That's why we're on the scene. Hang with me and the two crew weekdays at 6 and 9:30 exclusively on Service Electric Cable and join the sports scene. It's your wild ride through the sports scene in and around the Lehigh Valley. Exciting game highlights, in-depth profiles of coaches, athletes, and personalities making sports news. It's your total sports fix. Lehigh Valley Sports Scene weekdays on Service Electric 2 Sports, your leader in local sports coverage.
Everything is still the same at ABE Car Care Centers. Cliff Quinn Sr. and Jim Coombe may have retired, but they're still around making sure things are right. Same quality workmanship, same superior service. For brakes, mufflers, tune-ups, and inspections, ABE Car Care Center does it all.
The original is always the best. Cliff Quinn Jr. and his crew are no dumb bunnies. These guys are really good.
New management, but everything is still the same. Car Care Plus, only at ABE Car Care Centers.
I'm Mike Mittman, inviting you to join me Sunday, October 31st, the 9th annual St. Anthony's All-Star Sports Award Testimonial Roast. And what a great evening it's going to be as we honor John and Andy Dobb, champ. What a night it's going to be.
We're going to have a great night, Mike, and no more excuses. We got two guys here that can get me the car. What about the car you promised me?
It's coming.
Lehigh Valley Honda is celebrating 20 years of serving the Lehigh Valley with simply the best in sales and service. Choose from over 60 Accords. For example, drive home a 2004 Accord LX sedan nicely equipped for just $18,995. Choose from over 80 Civics with huge savings. For example, drive home a 2004 Civic LX sedan nicely equipped for just $15,295. Come visit Lehigh Valley Honda on the Lehigh Street Auto Mile and see why we're simply the best.
We are back here at the half, 14-7 as we get ready to start quarter number 3 in this one. Parkland was down 7-0, and from there, Doug, Stephen Benavich had a big return for a touchdown, and Nick Guida really put the drive in by himself and scored on a 1-yard touchdown run. Let's take a look at some first half highlights.
First offensive possession for the Trojans, and it was after a penalty, and then Mike Brusco's interception, the first turnover of the night for the Trojans, only turnover of the night, setting Emmaus up from about 38 yards out for a much shorter drive. Fourth down conversion, nice block by Brian Reese. Germani reading that hole, converting a key fourth down. Good impact. Reese and Thomas meet helmet to helmet. Germani spins off that block for another big and another short game. Here's the Brusco touchdown. He's going to roll out to the near side and then dump it off to Alex Hirsch, and here it's coming from the ground, giving Emmaus a 7-0 lead. Good protection. You can see the contain come up, and there is Alex Hirsch for the Emmaus points. And then Parkland answering back. Benavich, 68 yards out, gets two key blocks. One right here on the contained player for Emmaus, and then McCants is going to get a second one on Brusco, the punter. And that's going to tie the game at 7. Nice return on the special teams for Benavich. Fake punt. Quilling's going to lay back and almost hit. And we say almost. Look how close it is.
In your living room.
Coming right at you, almost hitting Park Hill. Didn't go that way. Then the fake dive, and here's the dive to Kuiper. Then the almost fumble. Brusco nearly had it. He ripped it out, nearly got it. Kuiper got it back. Guida, big run. on a third down conversion. Is going to get it close inside the 15-yard line. There's Germani off left tackle again behind Reese and Rutkowski. And then Guida will take it in for a 14-7 lead for Parkland. And I don't know if really we're surprised here. This is a solid game for both teams.
And no question about it. And that 1-yard run by Guida as well. You know, first half numbers, you know, when we look at him, you'll see Guida actually, and it really was in that drive. You know, he has 4 carries for 30 yards, and Germani has 11 carries for 51 yards. But overall, you know, look at the 3 penalties all on Parkland, a couple of them crucial. But look at the numbers. They're winning the game right now, despite that turnover that was crucial.
And this is a typical Emmaus ball game. I think Brusco would like those passing numbers to be up at 4 first downs, 3 first downs for Parkland. Brusco's 3 of 10, and Hager is 2 for 2 with the INT, 30 passing yards to 9 for Parkland, 56 rushing. I think Emmaus would like to have that up. Parkland's got to be impressed with the 85. Total yards, not much, 94 for the Trojans, 86 for Emmaus. The 1 turnover, the key for Parkland. That allowed Emmaus to take the early lead, and a couple penalties, a couple key ones, 3 of them there for Parkland. But this is the kind of game that the Greenhorns have played all season long. Parkland's been very familiar with these games as well, and it's going to come out to the third quarter and the second half. Who wants this game more?
14-7 your score as we get ready for quarter number 3. This game also brought to you in part by Lanta Metro, making it easy. 610-776 ride, the Silver Line Express from Lanta Metro. Aldi Carr alongside Doug Heater up here in the booth. Take a look at Rob Miloski, the 4th-year head coach for the Parkland Trojans with an overall record of 32-14. His team coming in 1-5, 2-6 overall. And both coaches knew coming in that it would be a tough contest. And, you know, interesting with Coach Baudelaire, he says, you know, we have not blown anyone out, you know, all year. We're just getting by and, you know, and scoring points, but a win is a win. And he kind of, you know, with us, you know, went back to his days at Lehigh University when in '98, Lehigh got into the playoffs and they went 12-0, and even that year they didn't have that. And he gets the opportunity to tell his kids that way. You know, they're not easy, but a win is a win is a win. And they're 7-1, and they're sitting there with the opportunity to get into district play. And then from there, anything is possible. And right now, you know, they find themselves down, though, 14-7.
What makes Emmaus fans anxious is these games like this, because every game that Emmaus is in, it's tight. They haven't blown anybody out. You know, the Freedom game, they opened up a couple touchdown lead, but the Patriots came back. But what this team has been able to do is reach down deep in the second half, find something to win a football game. They've been doing it all season long. And I don't think that there's anything different about this game than any game that they've been in at all. They will get the ball to start the third. I'm sure they talked about it. Now, one of the things interesting about Joe Baudelaire, and he told us before the game, he's not an emotional type coach. He's not going to go in there and fire them up. He knows, and the players know, what's at stake tonight. Go in there, talk things calmly, talk them over with the players, make the adjustments that they need to do offensively and defensively, and put points back on the scoreboard in this third quarter, in this first drive for his offense. And this is why you defer and take the ball in the second half. Put yourself in position to put the first points up in the third quarter.
Andrew Collard to kick off for the Parkland Trojans. We get ready to get underway here. This is quarter number 3, and that pounces up into the hands of Tyler Hirsch. Hirsch gets quickly down at the 30. Doug, special teams, I know, was a concern for Joe Baudelaire, so we have to win the special teams. We have to get some good running backs. We have to, you know, get, you know, good possession of the game to start our drives. And you know, overall though, they find themselves at the 30. And since that opening drive when Parkland had the interception and then Emmaus went through, the defense for the Trojans has really played strong.
Well, this is something that's been overlooked. I mean, in their state championship year, Parkland, their defense was one of the strong suits, maybe the strong suit other than Austin Scott. They had a good defense last year, and they had to have a good, solid defense again this year with 2 shutouts. That speaks for itself.
You mentioned, what's his name again?
I'm still allowed to say that name around here, right?
First down and 10 from the 30. Yeah, I'm wondering why they're not using him at Penn State a little more as Joe Paterno. Anyway, that's a whole different
yes, it is.
Kind of talk, that's for sure. 14-7 your score as we underway third quarter. Emmaus trying to move the ball. They had 4 or 5 opportunities that they went towards the end zone at the end of the half, did not convert, and they find themselves down by 7.
One of the things that you've got to be impressed with this Emmaus team is they're patient, and you're going to see that here in the third. They're not going to go away. They're not going to say, oh, man, we got to start throwing the ball. We got to try something. They're going to stay with what's got them here to this point at 7-1. They're going to run the football, and we're going to see that here in the third quarter.
Briscoe under center. Hands this off to Germani. Germani finds a crease on the outside, pops off a defender, and gets up to about the 48-yard line. That's what we could see from Jamie Germani. And a week ago, had about 102 yards in the second half. At half here tonight, 11 for 51. He just added to that total.
Bring the fullback in motion again, and then Rutkowski's going to do a job to kick out as well. But there's that open alleyway. Morrissey, Rutkowski do a nice job of opening an alleyway up. The offensive line holds their blocks, gets man-on-man with the Trojan defensive line. That's the play. And Germani has that ability. This is where this team starts to wear you down. He has that ability to pop one late in the ball game.
1st and 10 from Emmaus' own 47-yard line. 11:08, third quarter, down by 7. Briscoe will go to the air. This has been tried all night, and looking again for number 3, and that one is complete downfield. A nice grab by Hirsch. Doug, you said it about like 45 minutes ago. It will work, and it's going to, something that they'll look later on tonight. And that's exactly what they did. Tyler Hirsch, who came in with 32 receptions for 565 yards, makes the big grab. So Germani and then Hirsch, and Emmaus is in business.
And this is a great catch by Hirsch. Over the shoulder, good concentration. Benavage is right there. But Briscoe, after a couple tries, lays it right into the arms of Hirsch. Those are great catches. You've been doing them since you're a kid, and finally in a big ball game. That's a big spot for Hirsch to make that big catch.
Was that Dave Casper that used to make those catches back in the day?
A lot of guys did, but that's one of the guys I can think of, yeah.
1st down and 10 from the 15-yard line. They'll go to Germani. Gets a block in front, finds the outside, and then goes down by himself. It looks like inside the 10. Down to about the, let's see where they mark this one, maybe at the 8.5.
I remember doing them as a kid, right? You had to do it just right. You have your dad throw you about 50 of them until you did it just right. Good blocking up front. Now with that deep pass, what it's done is it's stretched this defense out. Germani slips on the turf and is taken out of bounds, but it's stretched out the defense a little bit, got them back on their heels. They're starting to ask the questions, are they going to throw, or are they going to run? They're showing the same type of look offensively, and this is where this team starts to wear you down. When you've given Emmaus an opportunity to complete a long pass like that, it's playing right into their hands.
Ball to the 9-yard line. They can get a 1st down at about the 5-yard line, 2nd and 4. They split the receivers wide. Hirsch on one side and Alex Hirsch to the near side. Rutkowski in the backfield along with Germani. And Briscoe's going to take it. This worked a week ago against Whitehall when he went right up the gut for about a 45-yard touchdown. Maybe even more than that.
And that's what they're trying to do. They're showing Parkland something here that they haven't done yet. Ran that quarterback keeper last week, went for a touchdown. Haven't seen Briscoe run that play. Run in motion, they run Rutkowski in motion. The Trojan defense thinks they're going to run this pitch to Germani that way or run that off tackle to the right. Instead, Briscoe tries to take advantage of that. Defensed well, but don't be surprised if Emmaus tries it again. They tested it, and I think they'll go back to it.
Now, Doug, interesting 3rd down here, 3rd and 3, as the ball's at the 8-yard line. 14-7 to score. They go to Germani. He follows Rutkowski, but gets taken down in the backfield. Good play there defensively by the Parkland Trojans and Brendan Gallagher.
Gallagher, we've seen him have a couple big plays, and he did a nice job on that offensive side. Watch Gallagher come through the line. They run that pitch to the far side, and Gallagher is going to knife through that vacated lane. Good job by Gallagher to fill that hole and make a big stop.
So I'll bring up Drew Reinhardt, who will attempt a field goal from 27 yards out to make it 14-10. Reinhardt has the foot. This one through the uprights, a 27-yard field goal. Converted by Drew Reinhardt, and the lead is closed to 14-10.
Reinhardt's been solid. This is the kicking game that Joe Baudelaire talked about. This is not as easy as it always looks. That's from quite a ways out. That's a big spot. They kicked a big field goal last week against Whitehall, and in the same situation, they got to themselves within 7-3. There could have been some grumbling and settle for a field goal. But, again, this is a team that's very patient. The players are patient. The coaching staff is patient. The fans must remain patient because they've gotten points. First drive of the 3rd quarter, Emmaus worked themselves down the field, put points up, and now is forcing Parkland to move that football.
Well, in that drive, you get a big Germani run, a huge catch by Hirsch from Briscoe, and then a 27-yard field goal
by Drew Reinhardt. On the first drive, they answer, and it's 14-10. McCants and Benavage back. Reinhardt sends this one back to about the 25-yard line. That's where it's picked up. Didn't get a number on the carrier. It is Kapanka. Check that. Justin Hill, the 5'10", 175-pound junior, on the carry.
Both teams now electing to go with the short kick, topping the football off the tee. You know, there's a lot of debate. I mean, especially Jim Fossil, the debate on those short kickoffs. And I said I didn't like it earlier to end the second quarter. And what it does, well, what you're trying to do is put a player who's less experienced, put his hands around the football and hope to get a turnover. But if he's able to get a hold of it, which Hill was able to do, it sets your offense up into pretty good field position.
Well, Parkland's been in this kind of field position all night long, and they've been going to the ground the last couple of possessions, and it's been working at that time as the smothering defense of Emmaus comes up with the stop on that play. Take a look at our Kraus Dodge trivia question for tonight. When is the last time Emmaus beat Parkland, and who was the head coach? Last time, stop looking at my notes, Doug. The last time Emmaus beat Parkland, and who was the head coach? As the Doug Heater peeks over my shoulder and tries to get the answer.
I read it already.
You know, this is what I'm saying. You know, you can't cheat like this.
You hand me the paper before a ball game.
Oh, that's right.
Answers on there. It's kind of hard not to look at it.
I didn't realize that I gave it to you. Surprised you told me that you knew the answer. Second down and 9 from the 35. Hager's going to throw. We haven't seen this since the first quarter. Looks downfield, looking for McCants, and that one's almost intercepted. It is. Picked off by Hirsch. Hirsch to the 40. Hirsch up to midfield and gets taken down the play. So Tyler Hirsch makes the big grab offensively and defensively at the INT, and Hager's intercepted for the second time tonight.
When the Trojan coaching staff and Greg Hager gets a chance to look at this game tape, he's going to realize he had two wide open wide receivers. One of them was Kuiper running down the seam in the middle of the field. The one that was covered was the receiver that he elected to go to, McCants. Good job by Hirsch to be in position. The coverage wasn't great. He was deep behind McCants, but it fell off of him, and Hirsch was able to be in position. But he had two wide open receivers there down the middle and in that slot, and he elected to go McCants' way, get the ball in the hands of the playmaker, and Hirsch was able to take advantage of that.
7:41 on the INT, and Emmaus back in business. They'll start first down 10 from the 50, but before they do, it's Mike Briscoe. He'll call a timeout. We'll see if that comes into play a little bit later on.
Well, it's a heads-up play by Briscoe. You want to make sure you have the right personnel on the field. An opportunity. They took advantage of the first Parkland turnover. Now another opportunity for Emmaus. This is why I'll use this word loosely, settle for a field goal, because you know your defense can keep you in a game, and now you've gotten the ball back. One play, got it back, and now if you kick another one, you're within 1 point. If not, you get a touchdown and you take the lead.
Doug, you look at Parkland, we're talking about their 2-6 record, and you look through their scores from this season, and you go back to the beginning of the year, their loss to Cumberland Valley, they were winning, I believe, by 21 points in the fourth quarter, and they end up losing that game 41-38. Really, that's one of those games that it's the first game of the year out of league, but it really, started from there. Then they come right back and they shut out Glen Mills, and you're back in business 26-0, and then from there it just went downhill. 5 straight losses from the Trojans. They lost to Northampton 17-7, 3-0 shutout to Liberty, 19-0 to Easton. Allen beat them 24-18. Then Central beat them 12-6. And last week they came back for the second win of the year, 12-0 over Deer if they got Whitehall next week. First down and 10. It's the handoff to Kalo. Not much on the carry by number 20.
Giving Germani a breather. Just one play. He's going to come back in with Tyler Hirsch.
That gives us our opportunity for our Kraus Dodge trivia question and answer. When is the last time Emmaus beat Parkland? And who was the head coach? Doug?
Was it 92? Yeah, 93. They beat him in 92 as well.
Yeah, 93. Chuck Son. Emmaus won 12-9. But interesting with that game, and we'll talk about that right after this play, our Kraus Dodge trivia question. Chuck Son, the head coach in 1993 when Emmaus won 12-0. Watch this play, and then we'll let you know what happened there. 93, because of an administration error at that point, a Hornet tackle Dustin Igersol, I'm not aware who the player is, but was declared ineligible to play, and Emmaus had to forfeit its victories over Catasauqua and Parkland. They started the year 2-1. Instead, their record went from 2-1 to 0-3. So if you say that's a forfeit, then you got it back to 92, and they beat Parkland 16-12. Chuck Sonnen was also the head coach. So our Kraus Dodge trivia question, how to work for that one. I really thank Evan Buren. You read his books and, the history of Emmaus and, all those books, and you find some great tidbits in there, and I found that in there, and Evan Buren does a great job with those books, and got to give it credit where credit's due, and that historian has done a great job. 1st and 10 for Emmaus from the 40, 6:55 on the clock. Germani looked like nothing, and he makes something out of nothing as he gets inside the 35 down to about the 34.5. So 5-yard pickup, looked like maybe he had one.
And again, going back to that, that's 12 years. That's a lot of time to not beat a football team. Uncharted territory for Emmaus this season for sure. Germani, this offensive line starts to wear you down. He's got a lot of go left in him. He's been held in check nicely by Parkland, but he's still got a lot of gas in the tank, a lot of room to go. And this is where this team begins to shine, late here in the 3rd quarter and then into the 4th.
Germani knocking on the door for 116 carries for 83 yards on the night. 2nd down and 5 from the 35. Back to the ground. Number 22, Germani, gets to the outside. Looks like he gets the 1st down, depending on that mark. 14-10. He just scored in favor of Parkland.
See Emmaus starting to stretch this defense out a little bit, running that sweep. Rutkowski up front looking for somebody to hit. But a good job by the offensive line of holding her blocks, and we've seen Gallagher in on a lot of tackles for Parkland, but not enough for a 1st down, but still a very effective run for Germani and Emmaus.
Seems like Emmaus has been in this position a couple times tonight. 3rd down and 3, 3rd down and 4, and they've been, they had to go to a couple 4th down situations. Again, 3rd down and 1 from the 31, and Parkland's come up big. They had a couple sacks, a big tackle in the backfield on these 3rd downs. We'll see what happens here. Here comes the rush. Germani gets through the hole and will move the chains inside the 30 down to about the 28. To the 28 or 29. I try to make both of them together. I don't know what what I said there. I got new verbiage coming out of my mouth tonight.
What it is, it's an effective run, and Emmaus is very content running this. Good job by Reese to clear his man out of the way. Good job by Kowalski and Smith. Hensinger up front, all doing a good job. This is where they feel that they control the ball game, control the line of scrimmage.
1st down and 10 from the 29, approaching the 5-minute mark, and Emmaus stays on the ground, and Germani, as he pops to the outside, have the opportunity now to congratulate both Parkland and Emmaus, their soccer programs. Parkland a 2-1 double overtime victory today against Liberty to move on to the semifinals of the 3A playoffs, and Emmaus beat Stroudsburg by a score of 4-0, and they're looking like they're knocking at the door. Of course, Easton in the bottom half of the bracket as well. Don't know what they did today, but an opportunity for a lot of, Emmaus Parkland showdowns. And, I know coaches always talk about that. Seems like in every sport they seem to match up. Swimming, of course, a big one as well. Second down and 10 from the 29, right at the 5-minute mark. Briscoe taking his time here. Receiver to the far side, 2 split to the near side. Looks across, throws, and once again it's Hirsch. He makes a grab and then fumbles the ball away, and that one's loose. That's going to be Parkland's football.
He's saying he's down.
I'm not sure about that one, Doug.
Well, now the head or the linesman or the line judge, I'm sorry, is saying he was down, and he had a better look than the umpire who was behind the play.
It comes with 4:52 on the clock. 14-10 your score. That's exactly. We'll take 2 looks at this one.
They run the slant. Benavage is off. There's the contact. Knee is down right there, and the ball comes out after it.
I'll see it one more time in this angle. Yeah.
The initial call is a fumble, but they overrule. The knee's down. Let's see, right here and here, and the ball's going to come out at the end. So Emmaus, they overruled it, so they felt it's the right call.
Back to Germani, and Germani going absolutely nowhere. He's buried. William Marks making the stop for the Trojans.
Marks at 290, 6'7", comes in and stops that run. But that play to Hirsch, the play previous that wasn't a fumble that they took away, running that slant, Benavage off of him, and he gave him a lot of cushion because Hirsch has been effective deep down the sideline. So they went back to that slant, something we talked about earlier that was tested and went through Hirsch's hands. They go back to it, and it works for a big gain.
2nd down and 10 from the 15-yard line for Briscoe. Had the field goal by Reinhardt to close to within 4. Now see what they can do here in the reverse. And it's going to be Hirsch. Gets the block by Briscoe. Goes towards the corner. Dives in. And touchdown. 15-yard touchdown by Tyler Hirsch on the reverse.
There's a little razzle-dazzle in this team. That might be the first time they've run that all season. But it's the flashiest play we've seen in 2 games. And what it did is the effectiveness of all those dives they'd been running and all those sweeps with the lead blocker, whether it's Rakowski and Morrissey, they took advantage of it. And the key block is made by the quarterback, Briscoe. And then Germani, or Hirsch's speed, just way too much.
Comes at 3:43 on the clock. Reinhardt for the point after to make it a 3-point advantage. And, you know, it was 7-0 Emmaus and 14 unanswered. Now we come from 14-7, and it's 17-14 on the extra point, brought to you by Allentown Mazda Volvo and Brown Dodge Volvo. With that extra point, Emmaus goes up by a field goal at the 3:43 mark of quarter number 3.
Exactly what they've been doing all year. Here we go. We're going to take a look at this reverse. And the run to Germani is going to set this up. They're going to run that fake this way. He's going to run it and then get the defense to pursue. Watch Briscoe. Nice block on Krompaski. Little missed tackle. That was Benavage that came in late. And then, excuse me, that wasn't. That was Schmidt that came in. And he reaches out and just gets that over the goal line. But that running play, those dives and those sweeps to the left or the right sets up that reverse. 9 plays, 50 yards. Hirsch from 15 yards out. Took 3 minutes. Why do you kick a field goal? That's why.
Yeah, points again coming off the turnover. So both touchdowns coming off the turnovers for Emmaus. 3:43 on the clock. Doug Heater a little more spunky here in half number 2. And the reason why, there's always have a good spread here at Parkland. And Doug had himself his share of shrimp. Doug, 3 per media member, not 43.
One of these games, we're going to put a camera up here to get the true consumption of food so people understand.
Oh, here they come again. Moving upfield, another opportunity for the Parkland Trojans. This time it's Justin Hill. Hill gets all the way down, and they're going to mark it about the 19-yard line. So again, special teams coming into effect here for the Trojans, just like that. I don't know if he had shrimp down there, but he had a good run back.
That's a great run by Hill on the short kickoff again. And here's a short kickoff. They kick away from McCants, and Hill breaks a tackle, reads his blocks well. Now Reinhardt's going to stay in pursuit, the place kicker. And we'll have to see what Parkland's able to do, but he could save the ball game here. Actually, it looks like Hill might have stepped out of bounds right before that because they mark it at the 19. But a lot of times those little plays go unnoticed. Let's see if the Hornets can keep Parkland out of the end zone. If it's not for the pursuit of Reinhardt and his effort, we could be tied. Or, excuse me, Parkland could be leading 21-17.
1st and 10 from the 18 after the huge return by Hill. They'll stay on the ground. And it worked in the first half, in the late first half, by Nick Guida. So give him the football and see what he could do. They have not stopped him, Doug, I believe, on not one possession. You know, 4 carries and, you know, in the first half for 30 yards and 1 for a 1-yard touchdown run. Again, he gets good yards there, good pickup.
All positive yardage going forward, and a nice gain on 1st down, picking up about 6 or 7 on that to set up a 2nd down and short. I think you're going to look at this Trojan coaching staff and realize that they're going to say, if you can stop our run, that's when we're going to start to put the ball up again.
Guida averaging over 6 yards a carry, 6 carries for 39 yards for Nick Guida, number 27, who's back in the backfield here on a 2nd down and 3. They'll go to Guida. Tries to come outside, cuts in, will move the chains again as he gets across the 5-yard line down to about the 4.
Nice block by Kuiper up front. Run the pitch, stretch him out a little bit, bring Gallagher in motion, let him do a kick-out block, let Kuiper get the first guy in white to show his face. And Guida with a head of steam. That earlier possession on the turnover, you saw that first running play where Guida was very hesitant. The feet were moving, he didn't know where to go. Not these last 2 runs. Immediately with the head moving forward, body moving forward, shoulders moving forward.
1st and goal from the 5. Strolla in motion. Palumbo to the far side of the field. Guida right up the middle, gets down to about the 2, maybe inside the 2 to about the 1.5.
Oh, nice job by Nick Martignetti, number 4, to come up on that run and fill the hole. He doesn't necessarily make the tackle, but he's going to slow Guida up, something that nobody's been able to do. Watch 4 show his face. Get in there, slow Guida up, let the rest of the defense fill the gap. Nice job finishing off by Hensinger, 78. Natali, 55, also filling that gap.
Under 2 to play, quarter number 3. Parkland, second down and goal from the 2 with an opportunity to regain the lead. After giving up 10 straight here to Emmaus to start the third quarter, it's Guida again, dives forward. No indication. Looks like he's about a half-yard short. They'll bring up a third down.
Well, the difference here on these last 2 plays, Al, is the penetration and the disruption of whether it's Martignetti, the linebacker, or in that play, the defensive line. You see Reese getting up off the pile. Natali's getting in there again. Hensinger, 78. Watch them break that hole. And good pursuit from the backside by Kozak, 85, the defensive end. They're able to get in there and slow things up. Guida isn't able to get. He's going to make a leap, but he's got to get within the 1-yard line to be able to leap and get over the end zone.
Third down and goal from the 1, inside 1 to play. Third quarter. Hager, watch him as he gets the ball, and there he goes. The extra push from his backfield. I don't think he got in.
No, not even close.
And look at who, always helping out, number 70, Brian Reese. He's on the outside watching that one, but obviously he's always at every play.
Defensive line stands up the offensive line. Nowhere for Hager to go. The surge wasn't there. It was going backwards for the guys in red. They're going to take their time, and they're going to run this play on the other end of the field. See Brian Reese trying to get his defense fired up more than they are already.
We're going to run the clock out here in quarter number 3, and Coach Malosky will opt to go to the other side of the field. It'll be 4th down and goal from the 1. When we come back, 17-14, Emmaus has regained the lead, but Parkland knocking on the door. We'll be back.
You think about the roads people drive on, how each one is different. Then you build a family of cars that treats them all the same. The 2005 Volvos with electronically controlled all-wheel drive. For confidence on any road.
Join Pinebrook Services for Children and Youth and Marlene Linney Fowler, honorary chairperson in celebrating Pinebrook's 25th anniversary fundraising gala, Saturday, November 6th at the Radisson Hotel in Bethlehem. Your support will help to prepare children and youth in Pinebrook's care for the challenges of the future by helping to address their many needs. Hear a true life story from a guest speaker, a former foster child. Reservations can be made by contacting Pinebrook's Development Department at 610-432-3919.
Al DiCarlo, the Flying Soul. Doug Heater still getting some shrimp as we welcome you back in quarter number 4. Doug, we welcome you back. You all right?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine.
A great contest here, and Parkland knocking on the door here down to the 1-yard line.
I'm turning that clock cam around. It's going to be showing you now pretty soon.
You had the opportunity to do so. Now, Parkland with an opportunity here to go in and score and regain the lead, Doug. Huge play here for the Trojans. And not a surprise, Nick Guida in the backfield. May have lost a little bit on that last play. It's Guida dives forward, rolls around in there, and no signal. They're saying no.
It. I don't know how he didn't get it, but what a great job by the Green Hornet defense.
He rolled off the top of a lot of helmets, but the indication was no. Parkland defense is saying, how is that possible? As they're standing there thinking that they did indeed score with 11:54 on the clock, fourth quarter, their first play.
They run what some coaches will call a crunch. They have the extra blockers right there between the guard-tackle gap, he stood up and rolled backwards. It's hard to tell from that angle, but where he comes down, you can see where he hits the ground. He is not in. Running behind that power, you fill the guard and tackle gap, hoping to get extra beef up front. But a great job again by the Green Hornet defensive line to get underneath the offensive lineman for Parkland, stand him up, and when Guida jumps, even him falling forward, he's unable to fall into the end zone.
Now Briscoe's going to have to start from his own goal line. Here on first down, he'll try to inch forward to see if he can get something going. Parkland signaling safety with no indication by the officials. We see more indications by players on both sides tonight than the officials.
Hey, the guys in the black and white, those are the ones that are going to let us know. We've seen coaches on the sideline signal fumble going the other way, and it has him. Briscoe just being safe, running that dive, the quarterback sneak, just trying to get out of there. Well, even though Parkland wasn't able to get a touchdown out of that or any points out of that, their defense is going to be called upon to stop Emmaus here and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
I want to thank both Dennis Romello and Mike Doble, the athletic directors for both schools, and supplying us with all our statistics. And Dennis Romello, of course, they're building that new construction that they have going on there. And as we talk about that, Briscoe gets taken down, and that one's going to be close. He fumbled beside. I thought it was going to be a safety. He fumbled. There's the indication. And
they got him in the end zone. No, they got Briscoe in the end zone. They're signaling safety out of that.
Yep.
He got it back, which is good, but they're going to get a safety. That was a gutsy play call by Emmaus. They were looking for Hirsch on the near sideline. So Parkland does come away with some points to pull to within one, and they're going to get the ball back. Good job by the defense to get in there and get good pressure. It looked like Briscoe lost his footing a little bit coming out. There's a lot of dirt. That's a heavily used area down there inside the 2-yard line. Looked like he slipped and was unable to get out of the end zone.
Well, entering, fourth down, you go for it, and if you don't get it, even though, you're going to pin the team back, and that's exactly what Parkland did there, and they get the safety with 11:02 on the clock, so not even a minute into the fourth quarter, and all this has happened.
Remember, too, that Reinhard, the place kicker, was the player that knocked Hill out of bounds on that kickoff return. Still, right now, that's the difference in a one-point ball game, 17-16, but a little more spark, the momentum shifting over a little bit to the Trojans, so they're going to see if they can get the ball back and get themselves back in position to take the lead in this ball game.
We'll have the opportunity to see at the construction that's going on at Emmaus. I know Regina Patuchny and Lehigh Valley Sports Scene on the scene today, talking to Dennis Romella, and we'll have that on Monday night. And really, in Lehigh Valley Sports Scene each and every night, Monday through Friday. You don't know what you're going to get. A lot of field hockey championships are going to be decided, and soccer and football, and Colgate and Lehigh will have highlights of that. And Muhlenberg home this weekend against Gettysburg. We'll have the highlights of this game, the Becca Easton game, Lehigh Valley Sports Scene each and every night, Monday through Friday on 2 Sports at 6 with a replay at 9:30. Tune in for the best sports coverage in the Lehigh Valley. This has worked all night tonight. That on the return again is Tristan McCants. And good field position once again for the Trojans. And Doug, again, the momentum has just turned in the favor of the Trojans.
Now we'll see if this defense for Emmaus can get a quick stop.
Tonight's game brought to you in part by ABE Doors and Windows, Allentown Business School, Apgar Oil, Kleckner & Son Appliances, Kraus Dodge, Atlanta Metro, Nazareth Music Center, R&J Carpet Connection, and Yakos, tonight's sponsors of high school football on 2 Sports. This is McCants. He turns and gets down to about the 40-yard line. Emmaus with 2 timeouts. Took one earlier in the third quarter. Parkland with all 3.
Parkland runs that sweep again, that speed sweep with McCants. He's the wing to the left. He's going to run in motion, try to get a little head of steam, but you could see the hesitation by McCants this time. I think the coaches want him to take that off tackle or in that 8 gap, and he had elected to go off tackle and in between the guard and tackle, and it wasn't there.
2nd down and 7 from the 40. Again, through the middle, and there's a big opening, and this one marching its way through and taking it is Kuiper. Ryan Kuiper with a big run down to about the 21.
Nice job for Parkland of mixing it up. This is what we saw in the second quarter. They went back to the dive. they run the same formation, the fake this way to McCants, and they run that fullback dive. It has Emmaus off balance, right up the middle. Nobody there because they're looking at McCants. They're following 32.
Down to the 21-yard line. Inside 10 to play. Parkland down by 1, 17-16. And there's a flag on the play thrown in as Briscoe makes the tackle.
I think he got a face mask. I think he might have gotten a piece of that. Yep, they're indicating that. There it is. Briscoe's saying it's inadvertent.
Emmaus.
Yeah, it's going to be a 5-yarder, but looks like he got just enough, grazed it just enough.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask on the defense, half the distance from the goal, from the end of the run, first down.
That was the discussion. I guess they felt that Briscoe took it. Now, if McCants' head was turned, that's why. Let's take a look. Coming right at you on the ground. Briscoe's going to get his hand up. Now, you know what? He didn't get it. He doesn't have it. He had the jersey.
He got the jersey.
He got the collar.
Bottom part, he gets the jersey right there.
Right there. He hits him in the chin, but he doesn't get the face mask. That's where they see the head turn, and he never has it. Oh, man. I tell you what, you got to give Briscoe credit for not losing it right there on the field. He made a great open field tackle, and they missed that call, and they added 15 yards to it.
Goes down to the 11-yard line with 9:44 on the clock. This game has changed a number of times in the scoring opportunity. Now Parkland's opportunity here. And then they go through the middle. And it's Kuiper. Kuiper's still moving. Gets inside the 5-yard line. I turned down for a second, thought the play was over, and Kuiper was still on his feet.
They marked it down just inside the 3. But again, with the threat of McCants on that sweep, there it is open. Nice job of Kuiper going behind Morgan Thomas. Big number 74. Lowers his head, puts it on his back, and just falls forward for a nice gain.
Under 9 to play. In regulation, 17-16. Emmaus up by 1, but Parkland has the ball to the 3-yard line. On a 2nd down and 2, they can get a first down inside the 1-yard line. Hager under center. Hands this one off, and
he should be in. I thought
he got in first, and no signal.
No.
It looked like he was across that plane.
Yes, it
from
did.
From here for a while, it looked like, and then they pulled him back. Well, we don't have the best angle from right here, but it certainly looked like he got through.
It looked like the surge of the line took Kuiper through. He's going to get a 1st and goal. But boy, that was close.
I'm actually surprised. I mean, I don't have a look at that, but it remains 17-16. Now the ball inside the 1.
Parkland with 4 chances to take the lead.
Hager under center, goes to the ground, and that one is a touchdown. Ryan Kuiper from a yard out. And Parkland has regained a lead here in Orfield.
Took advantage of they were unable to get the 4th down conversion inside the 1. Took advantage of a safety, got the ball back. Got a little bit of a break on the